I'm in my dharma.
Mm.
So I am trying to figure out how to recreate a red wine tea so that at night I am, oh, hey, Heather. Hold on one sec. I got Heather in Brooklyn, feeling blessed to be here. I'm so glad you're here. Hello, Hattis in Germany, right? Diane. So yeah, so I have been playing with a Cabernet, organic Cabernet extract with rooibos. So at night I can drink it, and it actually is turning out. It's like that rich
Nice.
mouthfeel, satisfying. And I ordered some dried organic grape skins, so I'm going to see if that will work. And hi, everybody from France. Even if for a tea, it's a little bit early for me, 1 a.m. Hi, Mika. I love the silky nature of rooibos. I do too.
Well, guess what tea I'm drinking?
Soulmate or
my new favorite? Yes.
Yes, I know. Well, I know. I'm sorry I knocked almond matcha off your list, but
no, I alternate between the two.
Yeah, Hadda says she's awake only for our lovely tea circle out in Germany. So hi, Natalie. How are you?
I'm fantastic. You were like my third or fourth interview for the day. So
I know. I saw you with Jack Canfield earlier. He
Yeah.
looked all noble in his library with all
Yeah.
his books. So it's cool. I know. Rough time to launch a book, huh?
Well, yeah. I mean, like he said, Amazon already had sold out, so he
Oh, good.
well. And it's kind of a good time to be doing something like that, you know.
Yeah. And also, I mean, how often have we all been such a captured audience?
Right. Exactly.
Well, cool. So Alexandria says hello from New York. Lockdown. Alexandria and Mother Christina, our night out with all of you. Can't type, lights out, and candle time. Oh, sending you guys so much love in New York. I know it's got to be so tough. I've been shipping so many boxes to New York and putting extra little love into them. Brianne, excited, just finished nursing the baby and making tea now. Yay! I'm about to oh, I'm about to make a cup of tea. So Nat's drinking Soulmate, which is a hi Lisa, which is a chocolate raspberry rose, and the base tea is from the estate where Gerard and I were married. And so I'm particularly fond of that tea. And I love it because I have been craving more sweets. And it's nice to have it in your tea without calories.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I've heard there's a quarantine 15 going around. Oh, Diane, you're sipping Goddess Green. I was about to make that, actually. Here's my Goddess Green.
Yeah.
So if any of you guys have one of these at home, this is my favorite teapot. This is called the Tea in Hand. And I just ordered a bunch more of these. They're actually in supply right now. They come from Taiwan. So, and they're mouth blown borosilicate glass, and it's my favorite teapot. And so I'm just gonna put a teaspoon of Goddess Green in my little Tea in Hand, and then bear with me, Nat. And then I just pour my water in it. And then I re-steep this, I don't know, 4 or 5 times until there's no more flavor left. And so most of the caffeine is extracted if you have a caffeinated tea after the first steep. So I just let this sit, and then I've got my little, where do I put my tea glass? I'm gonna have to go get my tea glass. And then I use my little double walled tea glass, and these are in the new quarantine gift set. And I've been putting a lot of my favorite little teas and samples and things, rare things in that gift set. But yeah, so this is the Tea in Hand. So everybody, if you don't have one of these, this is a very satisfying little quick tea ceremony thing, and it's my favorite. And they're only $22 on the site, but they're about to go up because shipping just went up. So grab one now, and I'm going to grab my cup, and then Nat and I are going to start.
Okay.
And okay, if you want to talk to everybody, I'll be right back.
Sure. I know. Well, the Soulmate tea, it's like Turkish delight in a cup. It is so delicious. But almond matcha, and I can see that Chris Oster is drinking almond matcha. It was my favorite. And the month that came out, that was the prosperity box, and I was the the guest or
It's still available.
yeah,
Yeah.
and going through and helping you to manifest prosperity in your life. And almond matcha is like, oh, just so delicious.
It's so almond matcha is like it's abundant, right? The flavor
Yes.
is big and sweet, and I use a lot of vanilla extract in that tea,
Yeah.
and so it's got that rich creaminess, and yeah, and so prosperity in lean times. These
Mm.
are unprecedented, crazy times. And I'm feeling remarkably hopeful. Our business has quadrupled online, and I had just signed a 5-year lease on this very expensive gathering place building to be told we can't gather anymore. So for about 48 hours, I thought we're done. Like, oh, like, you know, it might be over. I go into that place of fear, you know.
Yeah.
It must be, I think it's my Ukrainian famine surviving sort of DNA that goes into a place of like, oh my God, it's okay. You almost had that dream. You were in your Dharma. The other shoe is dropped. It's over. And so I went into this really sort of dark place of like, of this deep unknown. And, you know, how will I make it work? How will I pay rent? How will I keep it going? And then it was just, you know, I just started looking at, well, what is the opportunity now? What is God asking me for now? What is the universe asking me for now? And part of it was that I wasn't willing to feel the emotions of, you know, I was like, no, I'm not feared. I'm not scared. I'm strong. Like, no, not me. I'm a business coach. I'm a successful woman. I'm strong. I'm not going to, you know, and I noticed that I was stopping up the flow of abundance and prosperity by not wanting to feel the deep, dark fear that I was nervous about in my heart. And
Yeah.
I know that you talk a lot about, I mean, we're really close friends, just so everybody knows. And, I adore this woman beyond words, but I also find that you happen to be always the person that looks for the opportunity. So do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so funny because it's very similar to the conversation I was just having before with Jack, because you know, there, when it comes to, you know, positively influencing the outcomes in our life, you know, we have the ability to do that, as long as we're operating or resonating in the right frequency, the right consciousness. You know, we have like these 4 levels of consciousness that we go in between all the time. You know, and the first level of consciousness is what we call victimhood. So this is where you believe that everything's happening to you. You know, and there are some people that are at home right now going, oh my God, I'm stuck in the house. I can't do anything. I can't run. I can't get out. And all they're looking at are all the things that they can't do, the things that they're being deprived of. And of course, you know that the more you focus on that, the more that expands. So that's all they're getting. But when we raise up above that, then we're in what we call manifestation consciousness. And from there, this is where we realize that we can influence the outcomes in our life. Now, can we control the events of what's happening with the virus? Not really, not what's happening outside, but what we do have control over is what's happening in here, and then what's happening in our environment. So despite everything that's happening outside, we can control this, you know, and we can manifest from this place. And then we go into what we call channel, you know, consciousness, which is where, you know, we write when we're writing our books and what's coming through us, when we're speaking, when we're talking, when we're getting these ideas and inspirations, that we're becoming a conduit for God, for the divine.
Absolutely. That's
Yeah.
my favorite place to be.
Yeah, right. And then we have oneness, which is where we go in meditation, where we're connected to the unified field, and we're part of oneness. And from there, we understand, you know, we feel love, universal love. Now, we do resonate between all of them. And, you know, for example, you know, we can be in oneness and bring that love back here. We can channel some amazing ideas, but we need to be in manifestation to make them happen. And of course, we're spiritual beings having this human experience. So of course we're going to have times of victimhood where we sit down and go, oh my God, like I know the first couple of days, I'm like, what's going to happen with the business? You know, and you kind of go into this sort of a fear spiral for a moment, but you don't stay there.
Mm-mm.
Yes, feel it and acknowledge it and and feel those emotions. Most emotions take 90 seconds to be able to pass through our body, physically pass through the body. So just acknowledge it, feel it. There's nothing right or wrong about that. It is what it is. And then, okay, go into the next level, which is like, okay, well, how do we manifest from here? And go into that consciousness. So yeah, trying to not beat ourselves up
Yeah.
for anything during this time.
Yeah.
You know,
It was interesting. Right before this happened, I did a shamanic journey, and I told you about this, but I asked God to show me, show me how to release worry and receive abundance.
mm,
And I wanted to replace worry with abundance, because worry had become my kind of old friend. And in the vision I had, the universe, my angels were saying, joy is abundance. So if you're vibrating joy, which I teach, ironically, if you're vibrating joy, that is abundance. So there's no separation between you and abundance. You can vibrate at joy at any time, and that is abundance. And then just see what happens from there. And so every time I feel myself dipping, like the Monday where all of a sudden it was like no staff, like we went on lockdown, and I was, behind 140 orders. I told you, I was like, oh my God, I'm packing boxes. And I had paper cuts all over my hands. My fingers were raw. I was like, I'm not going to be able to do this. And then one of my best friends comes and sits on the couch, and she's like, oh, for God's sake, you are so inefficient. And she runs a super successful restaurant, Azu. She's like, you are so inefficient. And she whipped this place into shape and turned it into like a major like production house. And now she's like, I'm just going to come help you every day because I'm bored. And it's just insane. We got caught up. It was mind blowing. And I decided to vibrate joy instead of wallow in my, working my fingers to the bone, my old story.
Well, when you think about it, and you're talking about vibrating at joy, and when we talk about law of attraction, which is a lot about what I teach, we know we need to be a vibrational match to those things that we want and we want to attract. And people go, yeah, that's great, but what the hell does that mean?
Exactly.
Well, and the thing is, what our frequency, the energy that we resonate out into the universe, is our emotions.
Yeah.
That's what our frequency is.
Absolutely.
And if you've ever read Power versus Force,
yes.
David Hawkins, he talks about, how they've been able to measure the frequency of each of our emotions. So our lower frequency emotions are things like frustration and impatience and helplessness and, when worry and stress and anxiety and all of these are all lower frequency emotions. Now, when we're only resonating at that frequency, then we're only attracting things that are that's right, exactly.
This goes in every box, and this is David Hawkins' Power versus Force chart. Yep. Oh, one sec. Sorry, the mail guy.
Okay. So yeah, if you're looking at that card, because I'm assuming that all of you have that, we want to try and maintain these higher frequency emotions as often as we can. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to be there all of the time, but the more often that we can do that, and it doesn't have to be joy and, gratitude and, and happiness all the time. It could be contentment. It could be accomplishment. It could be, pride. It could be any of these other emotions that are really helping you to stay in that higher frequency. And the more that we can do that, we get into what we call flow. And when everything's just kind of falling into place and everything seems easy, you're like, yeah, this is so great. Well, this is what we call flow. And this is where you don't just attract what you need, but you attract things that the universe is gifting to you that you didn't even realize that you needed. And they're coming into your sphere.
Absolutely. And I find too that what you're saying with flow is if we are unwilling or not present to the emotions that want to move through, then we stop the flow of everything. So what I always tell my writers when they sit down to work on their book, or an executive who's sitting down to work on next year's projections or whatever, is whenever that comes up, whatever it is, write it down. So if you have like one sheet of paper where you write down everything that arises for you throughout the day, at the end, you can look at it, and oftentimes it's pretty poetic, and it's also very universal. We're all dealing with these emotions. They're all coming through us. And Nat, I don't know if it's okay with you, but I always like to read a little passage from my
Yeah.
favorite book, the Book of Light. And as you were speaking, I was just being reminded, because I prayed before we got on this tea circle, what would serve our tea lovers the most today, and I got emotions.
Ooh.
And so emotions are the foundation of the spirit. A person who does not know how to cry will never know how to laugh. How can a person who judges his own emotions, labeling them as unjust or opportune and inopportune, be able to concisely recognize his own dreams? Only someone who unconditionally respects what he feels will be able to recognize when his or her emotions are telling them that it may be time to adjust the direction she is going in. You ask me, what is my mission? What commitment did I make to heaven before incarnating? Am I fulfilling this mission? And then you try to elevate yourself so that you can have access to this information. There is something that I want you to know. You can elevate yourself, you can come up here, but it won't get you very far. Unless your emotions are flowing freely through your energetic system, nothing meaningful will ever happen in your life. Your emotions are the top priority. A person who feels something but refuses to show what he is feeling, preferring to keep it locked inside and covered up, wishing that it had never emerged and hoping that it will disappear forever so as not to bother them again, so as not to have to make him recall that there are sorrows he never cried over, losses he never mourned. This person deeply wishes that life were a bed of roses without thorns. This person has failed to understand anything. He has not understood that everything has two sides to it, that opposites are part of our reality, and that those who do not go through each and every one of their sorrows will find it extremely difficult to experience any joy. Those who never feel emotional have let go of their sense of feeling, and without feelings, nothing has meaning, and life is made of meanings. It is not all about work, money, and matter. Those who are able to understand the meaning of things live better lives. They know what they are doing there. They know why things happen and how to learn from them. They know the reason for each loss suffered and how to avoid further loss. They are able to love everything they do and everyone they interact with. They are aware that it takes only a minute to be awakened, and that minute is magical and should not be wasted. Those who feel dream. Those who dream live. Those who live learn. Those who learn evolve. Those who evolve take less time to become closer to me. That's God talking. Not beautiful.
Beautiful. And it's incredible how emotions are such an important part of the equation. You know, it's like when we talk about, visualizing and I actually led our community through a guided visualization the other day, seeing ourselves on the other side of this crisis.
Mm-hmm.
And when I talk about visualization, the technique that I use is actually what I learned from Dr. Joe Dispenza. And, rather than seeing yourself as a character in a movie, you actually put yourself in the scene. So, when you're looking at what's happening on the other side of this, you're imagining a moment. So my moment on the other side of this is actually having lunch in the sun with my girlfriends, having a glass of wine, and we're all hugging each other and touching each other and just, and it's
We're
like
all pretty touchy-feely.
gonna be groping each other.
Oh my God.
And so you think about that, I'm like, okay, so when I'm in that scene, I'm tasting the wine, I can hear the ocean, I can smell, all that stuff going. But here's the important thing, and I say, when I lead people through this guided visualization, I'm like, okay, now I want you to think about what this moment means to you. So for me, that moment means that we're all healthy, that we've all got through this, that we're in, vitality, that our businesses are thriving,
Yeah.
because we can afford to go out for a beautiful lunch, and that this is over.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I focus on why, or what the meaning is behind the moment that I'm visualizing, that's when it really invokes all of this, like this emotion of, oh my God, I'm so happy for my girlfriends, I'm so happy for everyone. Like I'm tapping into just joy and relief and grateful.
We made it.
Gratefulness, yeah, that we actually made it through. So
Absolutely. I was reading today Astrology Zone, and the astrologer who I love, she was writing that. So I'm in my destiny right now, which I only have like a year-long window according to my astrologer. And so I was like, wow, how's this for my my one window of my whole life? We're going to be on lockdown. Damn it. And so, but the astrologer was saying that Pluto is the planet of surprises and transformation and unexpected things. And then it's conjunct, and Chris was saying this also, it's conjunct right now with Jupiter, and Jupiter just expands everything. I'm a Sagittarius, almost all planets in I'm all Sag. So for me, I like everything to grow. You know me, I'm more is more, right? It's like not just one tea, but 100. Like
this is why we're friends.
exactly. So then, you know, it was saying that Jupiter's just expanding whatever Pluto gave him, and what or gave it, and what she said is that it's going to happen through December, which is exactly the time I'm supposed to experience my dharma and go to town with it. But I thought, how interesting to, if we know that this is going to be going on through December, what are some ways that we can reinvent and shift and move toward more opportunity and prosperity in these lean times? Because if we look at it and we say, okay, it's April, and if we're going to be in this state of, you know, and they're saying it's going to come in waves, that these viruses come in waves, how will we practically get through, you know, paychecks and cash? How will we emotionally get through? Because I mean, I'm a hugger. My poor daughter runs from me every time she sees me, because I just attack her now, because she's like my one or she and my husband are like my hugging things. But I just am wondering, like, do you have any ideas or tips for those of us who are really looking at the practicalities of this and going, shit, this is a lot?
I mean, there's a few practical things that I can definitely share. And, you know, thank God I have my business partner is actually my ex-husband, and he's very grounded, very, very much in, you know, in consciousness and making things happen. And, you know, it's so funny. I always laugh about how our operations manager is like, the sky is falling. He's at this end and I'm at the other end going, everything's going to work out okay. It always does. And Glenn's in the middle going, yeah, okay, I'm going to take a little bit of this. And yes, I do know that, but I kind of need to make stuff happen. And he and I were interviewed on a podcast, Glenn and I together on Monday. And it was really interesting what he was saying, which I agree with. It's like, he goes, it's not like the money goes away. The money just shifts. Mm-hmm. It just goes somewhere else. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, with someone like, with a company like us, we're like, okay, well, you know, who are the people with the money now who are spending that we can serve with what it is that we have? Mm-hmm. And so if you're in an industry where, you know, a lot of it's closed down, like if it's a service industry or like, you know, hair, beauty, like anything
and all
like
my friends in the film industry, it's right? Completely gone. Yeah.
Right. So the thing is looking at, well, where is the pain right now? Like, and what is the pain that people are really dealing with? Like, I know that a lot of my girlfriends are freaking out because, you know, the roots and the grays are coming through, and they're like,
mine sparkle though. I'm actually excited. I was checking them out last night.
So if you knew how to create a solution for the times that we're in, that's going to really help women to be able to combat that issue at home, then that's going to be amazing. And even looking at the industry that you're familiar with, just going, okay, well, where is the pain right now? What is some way that I can serve, but in a way that I can, you know, also be able to create some income as well? Mm-hmm. Because, you know, we really are at a place where we just, and this is like, for us, it's like, okay, well, our business was born in 2008. Our huge launch to the world happened September 2008, which is when everyone was losing their shirt and their homes and their jobs and everything. And that's kind of was our big launch. Mm-hmm. But the rules are always changing. And I think that when you get very comfortable with the fact that things are always changing, and we can get in the, oh my God, well, that's it. Like, that's it. I'm done. I'm out of a job. You know, my business, I used to travel. I used to, you know, be live, and now that's all gone. It's like, yes, feel that, acknowledge it. That's cool.
Yeah.
Don't stay there. And then go, okay, well, what are the new rules of engagement? Like, where has the money gone? What is the pain points that I can look for and how I can help to serve that? And then look at how you can fulfill that need, I think is a really big thing. And there are some companies, that are still hiring right now, that have, maybe some kind of delivery thing or something where they need, something that can be fulfilled from home.
Mhm.
There are those kind of, jobs that you can still be looking for as well. But also use this time to get a little bit quiet and go, well, look, if I could do anything, if I have to reinvent myself right now, what is it that I really want to do? Or
Mhm.
what is a skill that I can learn right now that's going to really serve me? Because when we do get on the other side of this, there is going to be a lot of people that are ready to spend. There's going to be a lot of people that maybe have, that you can't see the pain point right now, but that will actually evolve and grow and become more obvious as a few weeks down the track. And just keep an eye out for these kind of things. And then go, okay, well, what can, especially like the online world, as you know, everyone's online at the moment. And if you can use this time to, sharpen some online skills, do some marketing, trying to figure out how to do these kind of things, then, this is an opportune time to do it. Even if you have something that you're really good at, some great information, now's the time to get online and start doing some live broadcasts and start sharing information, build your community, so that when this is over and they're ready to, we're getting back to a new normal and people have money to spend, then you've already set yourself up as this, person that they can trust and that they know, because you've already, got that social money in the bank.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I also find too, what Gay and Katie have taught me, being my business partners, is to always go, when you get into a place of being able to go, like I wonder, and being in those wonder, like when you're in curiosity, doors open and the mind is open to so much more. And I found, I found this little book the other day in my writer's studio. So I haven't been back to my writer's studio since I launched Magic Hour in person. And I went back down there and I have this huge whiteboard, and I had written Cosmic Paris of 1920s, a gathering place with potions. And I hadn't gone back down there, and I had manifested it. And I was like, wow, that big whiteboard. So I was like, okay, I better be thoughtful about what I'm going to write on the whiteboard. So what I was thinking for people too right now is like, get something big, like, get a big piece of paper or get something, and start to be in that state of curiosity, and be in that state of, I wonder what this is. I wonder how I can serve. I wonder, I'm curious, like, what will, the way that I open my prayers every morning is I say, dear God, please show me how you want me to be, show me what you need me to see, show me how to serve, and I'll, and I just then follow the intuition. And so today, when I was in inquiry asking about how we could help our tea circle, I found this book, The Magic Path of Intuition by Florence Scovel Shinn. And I'm actually going to set up and do readings of this, because I started reading it this morning. And it really was, we're in this place of be optimistic and curious and prepare.
Right.
So like what you were saying is like, prepare for a time when it'll be, we'll be able to go outside again and connect again with people and go back to work in ways that might be new for us. And so what can we prepare for now? Like fluffing our nest, making ourselves a cup of tea and just really cherishing ourselves, using this, I know most of you have this because I put this in every order, but using the vibration chart to basically say, where am I on the chart? So oftentimes when I sit down to write, I feel guilt because I'm not doing something important, right? That's
Right.
just stupid shit.
Yeah.
But so I'll go, oh, I'm in guilt over my own pleasure in writing and the written word. How can I have the courage to get above the line? So I use the chart to get into a willingness and an acceptance that I'm here to write because I love to write, and that's valuable enough, right?
Yeah.
So what I find today is, when I look at the magic path of intuition, this is just a classic, but basically she's talking about sending goodwill to everybody. Like, so if you're frustrated with, say, the president, which a lot of people are just really angry right now. A lot of people are angry just in general because things could have been handled better, but they didn't, they weren't. So whatever, we're here. But to send goodwill, just to take this time to just start sending goodwill to perceived annoyances or people we don't necessarily like or things that we aren't happy about, and just wish them the best. It's a meta meditation, but she talks a lot about that as the first step to clear the pathway to get into the intuition of where we're going.
Yeah.
And I feel that we have finally come together as a community that's global to be in a unified form to fight this pandemic or to overcome this pandemic. And we've never had this opportunity before.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah.
This has never been, we've never had a chance. And I have to say, like, our emissions are down to 1940 levels. Nature is really happy right now. The earth is vibrating at half of what it was vibrating at. The seismologists were like, oh my God, like there's no construction and drilling and traffic. And, you know, the earth is getting a chance to take a breath right now. And so if we can just really be in that, even though we might feel fear, even though we might not know what's going to happen next, if we can say, you know, I'm here to experience the first time in my lifetime, you know, that that everyone on the planet is in something together. I mean, that's a unification in a way that I don't know if we'll ever experience it again.
Well, just circling back a little bit to what you're saying about, you know, with Gay and Katie going, So the extension of that is getting curious.
Yeah.
And asking questions. See, the thing is, you may be sitting there going, look, I really have no idea. I have no idea. I don't know what I'm going to do. Then you don't have to come up with the answer yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Stay curious, ask the question, and get quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you're going into, remember, channel consciousness, where you're tapping into the divine and asking the question, like, where do I go? Like, what do I do? And just stay quiet long enough to hear the inspiration that can come through from that. Like, you don't have to come up with the answer yourself.
Yeah.
And as long as you like, and grab, like, I'm telling you now, this soulmate tea is just, I smell it and I'm just like, oh. But, you know, what I do in the mornings, I've started doing this because, you know, I have my love altar down here with all my, you know, crystals and things. I'll make a cup of this so that I have the smell of it coming up when I'm sitting and doing my visualization of bringing in my love. But infused tea, bring other things into the mix. And then just be in curiosity and keep asking a question or a different question so that you can, you know, get the inspiration that you need to. You know?
I always say that our senses are how God speaks to us. Like, our senses are how the divine, you know, because we'll never have senses like this again. You know, we're in a human body for this tiny bit of time, and our senses are our treasure. So as we're talking about prosperity in lean times, I'm finding that I'm not spending any money. I am buying a lot of tea because I'm calling it production. I spent like $1,000 on new organic flavor extracts. Oh my God, you cannot believe that they make an organic creme brulee flavor extract. And I blended that with blackberry. And then anyway, regardless. Yeah. So it's like, so for me, it's like these things that I can do that enhance the experience of being alive right now that are attainable for me. It's not like a new outfit because as long as I look okay neck up, you guys will never know. And it's all about this. It's all about what I can bring into my sensory perception right now. I've taken to writing little handwritten notes in every single person's orders. That's probably why they're taking so long to get out. But I just I'm putting my love into every detail. And that brings me a prosperity that is a next level. You know, it has nothing to do with sparkly things or diamonds. It has to do with me generating the sparkly things out of my emotion to pour into the details. And
Actually,
Yeah.
that reminds me of something else that, you know, for us to create a life of wealth or health or love or whatever it is that we're looking for, you know, we have to be that first.
Yeah.
So what better time than now to really embody who you need to be able to have this, you know, successful, loving, beautiful, healthy, vivacious, gorgeous life,
Mm.
and just stepping into it already. So, you know, part of that is, you know, knowing where it is that you want to go. And you don't have to be specific about it. You know, you could be, look, I want to be financially free. I want my family to be healthy. And I want us to do everything from a place of love and compassion. You could start there. That's as deep as you have to go.
Or
And
it
then,
could be, I want to be free
yes.
so
Yeah.
that my finances can become freed up.
Yep.
And because I can't control my finances right now,
Yeah.
right? I mean, there none of us can. It's like the first time where it's like, okay, I can balance my books, and then it's like, whatever, tomorrow it's going to be something totally different. So the only thing I realized is I'm a singular unit available for expressing love and even through, you know, fear. And so the prosperity, you know, somebody, who was it, was talking about all the different forms of currency, right? So I feel that if we were to balance our books, if we were to balance the checkbook of our entire life, connection for me is the number one currency. You know, knowing you're there, Natalie, for me, and knowing that Alicia and Alexandria and Amy and Ananda, like all of you, and Betsy, you're all there, that my heart just, I mean, it's bringing tears to my eyes. It's a prosperity that taxes don't. There's no tax to it. there's
Yeah.
no there's no cut to it. There's no and it's not controlled by anything outside of me.
Yeah.
You know, because the market is always going to be shifting and changing.
Yep.
But the connection is something that I can take with me everywhere. And that's, I think, what you were talking about earlier about your social, you know, having that social abundance so that when the economy comes back online, what does it look like then?
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. Well, and being positioned for that. And like I said, it could just be working on who you're becoming or who you are or who you want to be, working on specific, you know, different skills and skill sets and doing all of that. But spending time, you know, like I said, if we want to see ourselves on the other side of that, just on the other side of what we're going through right now, just think about what a moment's going to be like when you're on the other side of it, and think of a moment that represents for you the prosperity and the love and the vitality, and then really put yourself as often as you can into that visualization,
So let's
and
do that
think.
now.
You want to
I
try it now?
Yeah, I want to try it now because
Okay.
I feel like you're okay. So I'm probably with you in your vision
Yeah.
of us, and I, let's see, what is my, so guide us through that one more time, like step by step. So
Now, well, how about I'll guide you through. So think of a moment and I'll guide you through the visualization.
okay,
So all you have to think about is what that moment is going to be for you, you know? So, all right. So just get comfortable, everyone. Have your feet flat on the floor. Have your hands facing up on your thighs. And when you're ready, close your eyes. And I want you to take a nice deep breath in. So just breathing in and breathing out. So breathing in and breathing out. Okay, one more time. Slowly breathing in. And as you're breathing out, you're feeling your full body relaxing from your head to your shoulders, arms, chest, torso, thighs, calves, and feet. So fully relaxed. And just breathing normally. And I want you to see this moment for you that represents success and represents that we're on the other side of the coronavirus situation. So where are you? And who are you with? What can you see? What do you see in your surroundings? Clothes that people are wearing, the environment in which you're in. And what do you hear around you? Is there laughter? Is there beautiful healing sounds of nature? What do you hear right now that's really filling your heart? What are you touching? Who are you touching? What can you feel with your hands right now? And I want you to look down and see these objects in your hands and actually feel what it's like to be holding them right now. What do you taste? You're eating or drinking something right now? And how amazing does it taste? So what does this moment mean to you? What have you gone through to get to this moment right now? And how does that make you feel? Feeling proud? Feeling accomplished? You're feeling joy? What does this mean to you physically, mentally, emotionally, or physically? And just marinate in this moment and how amazing it feels to be here. Okay, so just take a nice deep breath in, just breathing in and breathing out. Just breathing in one more time and really expanding that emotion. And breathing out. Slowly wiggling your fingers and your toes and coming back into the room. And when you're ready, just slowly open your eyes.
I hope you all will share what you saw. I surprised myself. Well, probably not really.
So here's the thing about visualization. So we've already created we've created an event. We've created a destination for when you do your visualizations, which means that it'll be easier for you to go there again the next time. Now, you don't have to be sitting down with your eyes closed to be able to visualize. You know, I call these daydreams with intentions. So what you're doing is you could be vacuuming, you could be packing dishes, you could be doing some kind of mundane task, but in your mind and in your heart, you are already in your future. You don't have to have your eyes closed. You can just be doing something, you know, some other kind of activity. But the more often that you do this, what's happening is you're creating these neural pathways in your brain, because every thought we have travels along a neural pathway. Now, the really strong ones are for the thoughts that we've been thinking for a very long time, which are normally connected to some kind of limiting belief or negative program or something like that. So we don't replace them, but we need to circumvent those neural pathways. So the more we can do this and go to this, have this little vacation in our minds, we can create these new neural pathways. So now when we start to think about the future, these are the thoughts that are coming through the conscious mind. Now, when our thoughts change like that, they are automatically changing our actions. So now all the things that you know that you should be doing now become easier for you because your thoughts are in alignment with that. And of course, you're already feeling that emotion. So when you have that trifecta, your thoughts, your actions, your emotions, you're basically a vibrational beacon for everything that you need to make that happen.
I love that.
Mm.
I love that. A vibrational beacon. So you saw that. I saw a new factory. First off, I saw us having a big ass tea party at my house, like the dinner we had last May to launch Magic Hour. Remember how fun that was?
Yes.
And I saw us giggling and hugging and touching each other and drinking tea and enjoying a revelry. And then my entrepreneurial pathway automatically was down the street, taking over the biggest building in the industrial zone down the street from my current warehouse. And I had like taken it over and it was full of all these happy workers and everybody was in joy and there were windows everywhere and it was like gorgeous. So I'm going to just see us having the world's biggest tea party. And then I want everybody to be so excited to come to work that they can't wait to get there. Like when they wake up, they're like, oh my God, it's work today. Like that's what I want. So let's see. Diane's working on feeling like I'm on vacation every day. Yeah. What if work could feel like a vacation? Suzanne saying, having a delicious tea at the St. Paul Hotel with friends, sitting in velvet wing chairs by the fireplace, listening to live piano music. Ooh, I want to be there, holding.
Okay, I'm there too.
Yeah, holding warm, delicate cups of fragrant tea, fingering crumbly scones with fresh jam, and putting small, sweet bites in my mouth. The sound of laughter, sharing hugs, feeling relaxed, happy, and expansive. Okay, I'm in. Sold. I'll be there. Catherine, pregnant with my white dog and my man to be discovered by the fire. Oh, big old yummy belly. Yeah. Betsy says I'm in too. Suzanne, I think you've got, yeah. Suzanne, if you're not a writer, you should be.
Yeah, I know. I'm just thinking about the crumbly scones right now.
Yosh says, first image was me sailing in Mexico. Yosh is a perfumer, intuitive perfumer, psychic, and medium and sailor. So first image was me sailing in Mexico on a friend's boat, and then it morphed into me sailing around the world on my own catamaran. I'm going to jump on. Suzanne says we're all invited. Judith says a giant block party hugging all the families I see walking. Oh.
Can you imagine how beautifully delicious it's going to be when we all get to be able to touch each other again? We'll be touching people we never touched before.
I know. I never wanted to touch. I mean, I never realized how much I touch people.
Right.
You know, I like the mailman just came in and brought some more of these tea in hand things. I always give them like gloves or a thing right now, but I almost hugged him. I mean, he got kind of scared. So Jean says, a book written on finding the sacred in everyday life. I stand in front of crowd who want that book.
Ooh,
beautiful. Yes. Go for it, girl. So I saw Mediterranean. So Christy, hi, sweetheart. I saw Mediterranean travel, sunset relaxation, a lightness of being. Absolutely. Heather says the joyful noise of children in schools and playgrounds. I know. My little girl is like, I thought I was antisocial, but that only lasted 3 days. Now I just want to be with all my friends again. Hi, Elizabeth. She says, I saw myself touching others' tears and they turned into diamonds. Oh, lots of laughter was heard also. Beautiful. Tears that turn into diamonds.
I love that.
Well, this is what we're doing here. We're connecting, the mission of Magic Hour is to connect the world through tea ceremony. And so we can connect. I mean, look at the power we all have to connect through any form we can find, you
Yeah.
know. And Guion wants to know, where is the St. Paul tea? She's getting on a plane from France as soon as she can. Um, so wonderful. Okay, so Tracy says, sat on Calabash Beach in Granada with my bestie.
Mm.
Diane, wine and tea at sunset at the Four Seasons outdoor patio in Montecito, my favorite place. Sharing laughter and treats with good friends. Butterfly Beach, Diane, that's the place.
Mhm.
Oh, St. Paul Hotels in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Uh,
Beautiful. Oh, Natalie, I'm so grateful for you.
I love you, darling.
Love you so much.
Mm.
To all of you, Diane says I was in Ojai celebrating my book launch with Leanne's night. Oh, Nikki, Ashley, and Zena. Oh, yay, we need that. So with this, dear beloved sister circle, oh, Serafina, hold on, one more. I saw my partner and I going to our favorite restaurant and it was packed. Everyone was so happy and you could hear so much laughter and pleasant conversation. As I sat in that moment, I realized we were celebrating her getting a new job. Oh, oh. So with this, I close our circle, women from all over the world coming together to love and support each other. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for trusting Nat and I with your time and your attention and your energy. We don't take it lightly. We are so grateful for you. We send you all the love in the world. And if you want more, I'm doing a full moon tea circle tomorrow. And our dear friend Rika Zimmerman will be joining me. She's the host of this month's Mantra Mint Box, the Miracle Box. So, Natalie, I will see you for wine tomorrow.
You
And
will? Yes.
just for at 5, because I'm doing the circle from 4 to 5. So I'll see you at 5 on Zoom. And thank you all for joining us. Love you so much. Thank you for everything. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye. Love you, Nat.
Love you too, darling.